Return to Glory podcast, bye week edition number 1. Hunter Zarbernicki, Austin, Rose, Dakota, free tag. Nebraska's 3-1 after the most recent loss to Michigan, heading into bye week number 1, which we all, I think, agreed last episode. It's a good time for a bye week. We just played our first game that we really learned a lot about where we are at right now this year in the 2025 season. So I want to kind of start us there as far as the bye week. What did we learn? What did we learn at a high level? We kind of talked about that last week. And what is the focus for this coaching staff, for this team this week, heading into Michigan State next week?
I feel like the obvious lesson learned is that left tackle, not quite as the depth on the offensive line is not exactly what we thought it was going to be when it came time to facing Big Ten opponents.
Tackles, I like it. I think that's a very, very good place to evaluate.
A little soul searching needs to be done there.
Yep.
On who the starting left tackle is. I think it's still Petula, but
so some people are just saying it needs to be Pritchett, and I apparently Pritchett's been grading better in the run game. Pritchett's also, I think, jumped false start like in every single game so far, but he's
do you almost live with that
better.
Can I live with it?
Yeah, do you almost just have to live with the false starts because he's because he's playing better?
Is he that much better though?
That's what I've heard. That's maybe I don't know. I don't, obviously none of them are standing out. That's why they've been an or every week. And do you just have to pick and roll with somebody here at this time? Maybe. But man, I mean, if it's not going to get better, I mean, it needs to get better. If it doesn't, you probably still have the freedom to change things up. I don't know. But someone needs to step up for sure. I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess you don't necessarily need to be like, this is our guy for an offensive line position. Because in theory, you're going to be rotating him in and out throughout the game anyways. But I'd say that's definitely the biggest point of soul searching. I feel like D-line play for the most part. Yeah, we get 270 yards of rushing last week, but you take away the 3 big plays, it's like, well, okay, you actually did okay. You got a little creative. We weren't getting as much pressure in the backfield. That's probably another area of concern, but
yep, just up front and defensively.
Yeah,
that's been the big thing pretty much throughout the whole season. I mean, even heading into the season. Dak, where else are we soul searching?
On defense, because I agree for sure. Tackles is your number one spot. Probably holding your contain on defense and staying where you need to be on defense, because there is on those big runs. I've watched some like different replays of it, and guys were just not in the right positions on those. And there's one play I completely forgot about, which I don't know how much tackling drills you can do nowadays, but that third and 13 where that guy just missed the tackle on the screenplay, and that like you got to make that tackle there. That's gonna be one that's gonna be brought up a lot this week.
If there were, I know which play you're talking about. I think there were a couple of other big like one-on-one tackles that we missed in that game that were pretty big spots. And I mean, I agree. That's something we haven't talked about a lot in the past couple of years because we actually had tackled well. But that did show against Michigan a couple of times that resulted in a couple of first downs that impacted the game. So I agree that I think tackling drills, like as much as you do in the bye week without getting people hurt, but I think that needs to be a focus too. That wasn't ideal as well.
Yeah,
running back depth is my other one that is like I mean, Rule keeps saying it about our running backs are good or whatever, but man, I mean, we need to figure out some guy that can run behind Emmett, and I mean, maybe even take it a step further and say just running in general. Obviously, against Michigan, we know the stats, we know the numbers. We threw for over 300 yards, could not get a running game going whatsoever. You're also playing from behind, so that impacts the way the game's going. But Rule has said it over and over and over and over how you have to establish a run game, have to be a running team, blah, blah, blah in the Big Ten. Well, yes, we do, because if you don't, I mean, we will be throwing it a lot. But does that mean you can't win by just throwing it all the time? I don't know. I don't think so. But I think this all goes back to the one word that I don't want to make it a big deal yet, but identity and what we're trying to do on the offensive side of the football. Our run game was not there against Michigan. Obviously, against the other 2 teams, 3 teams, we had a pretty solid run game. But that comes with a lot of things, right? A running back, but also an offensive line.
Now, saying that, like I said, the first couple drives against Michigan, we ran the ball incredibly well.
Yes.
So that is what we want to do. We just couldn't stick to it. They adjusted, and we.
Yeah, and then what happened? I don't know. After watching film and understanding why did the run game stall after the first couple of drives?
And it looked like the holes were there to run too. Like your offensive line, like running wise, I thought they blocked well. And that's your interior line, I guess, blocked well the whole game. It just goes back to tackles. That's the main thing you got to work on. I don't know what you can do there. I really don't.
You don't know. You're not an offensive line coach.
No, like you're stuck with what you got. I think you're just kind of screwed at tackle for the rest of the year. We are screwed at tackle the rest of the year.
Oh yeah, we did say we're gonna put $1 every time Dak says Dak's gonna throw $1 into a beer jar. So
yep.
If we're listening live, we're gonna do that. So there's $1 right there. We're gonna start adding up and see how high we can get.
We need to put a counter on our video.
Yeah, we do. A little counter, a little ticker.
I might be begging on the street by the end of this.
Yeah, I do think I heard this that it would be kind of funny if Dylan has to go to Rule and say, "Hey, we got to fire my uncle. Our offensive line is just not very good." Not that's extreme, but that would be kind of funny.
Yeah.
There's one more. Eckler is just freaking out this by week 2 about that missed field goal. Like, he's gonna have those guys kicking all week long.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Probably.
He probably hasn't slept since the game.
It's been whatever 4, 5, 6 days here. 5 days since the Michigan loss. What's been the general vibe or consensus that has come out of this game? I know there's initial reaction, a couple of days. Now we've had some time for it to sit in. Just as you guys are talking, if you're talking to people about the game, what's been the general kind of takeaways or vibe that people are having after the game?
I mean, nationally, it's just a grilling of Raiola. You'd think that he was the, second coming of Satan. My gosh. Maybe not that aggressive, but everyone's just, the Patrick Mahomes stuff, they're like, oh, this guy, and he's not very good. And the people that I've talked to, a lot of them are like, I don't know. Admittedly, I haven't talked to that many people because I work in a very small office, but most people in my office are like, I feel like he's getting a little bit grilled for unfair reasons. I thought he played pretty well. But like we were talking beforehand that there's a couple national media people that are just like, oh, Patrick Mahomes stuff, and online on Twitter, a lot of people are going after him for the Patrick Mahomes, like, oh, he hit the Patrick Mahomes flex. I was like, I don't know if a guy flexes after a strong play? Is that a Patrick Mahomes move? I don't know. He played well.
Was this like the first game that most people watched because they're all complaining about how he's acting like Mahomes? He's done that his whole career, but it's really this week. It's been really people are
it
talking
probably
about it.
Honestly is the first game these people have watched.
Yeah, it honestly. Yeah.
I go. It obviously the narrative's out there, but being a national CBS 2:30 televised game, and like Tom Fernelli, for example, he's the one that you're mentioning that on CBS he gave a 3-minute monologue and ripping into the whole situation and saying how he's out on Dylan. That I the defense side of that is he's an 18-year-old kid, right? And he's got a idol or someone that he wants. I mean, when you were a kid, you wanted to be like name whoever the athlete was. You had dreams and goals and aspirations of being that. Now he's also a college kid now, but like I don't have an issue with it. The only part that bugs me is he doesn't really own it.
Yeah,
like
that's
when asked about it, like he kind of just he kind of plays it the opposite way. Like, no, I'm trying to be my own person, blah blah blah. Like I respect Patrick, but like no, you clearly are trying to do things that he does. Like just say it. I mean, who cares? In my mind.
Well, I think if he does say that, then he's just giving everyone credibility to blast him for it.
But like I think also just take the approach of who cares. Like, yeah, I'm I mean, think about how many kids are modeling Steph Curry out there, like, and emulating all of his stuff. It's yeah, like I am. I'm like he's one of the greatest of all time. I'm trying to be like him. I don't know that, but it is. It's funny how this year or this week they're just blowing that up again, even though we know it's there. It's I could care less as long as it's not affecting his play in a negative way. Like
I just don't get it why people are so upset about
now, yeah.
He's like third in the country in completion percentage and first with over 100 completions, and he has over 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns and 1 interception. Like, I don't understand what we're doing. I really don't.
Part of my take, which is I think the most listened to sports podcast behind Return to Glory. They have a weekly segment now about how weird it is with Mahomes Riley. Like they talk about it. I think they talk about college football every Wednesday, and it gets brought up every time. And I don't know, they're all weirded out by it. He needs to own up to it and stop like stop
but
saying.
Again, I don't think he's doing that much like that other kids aren't doing.
That's what I'm saying. The other kids aren't doing. He's just one that's doing it to a very extreme level.
He happens to look a lot like him.
Look like him. Number. I mean, yes, yeah.
We're in the same number.
The one stat that I saw, speaking of performance, he's the only quarterback in the country right now that's thrown for 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, over 100 completions, and then 75% and above completion percentage. So, like Dylan's having a very solid year so far. I mean, I think again, it comes back to a question of style to how you think an offense should be ran. I mean, Dylan's very talented. Like we know that. I don't think he's any better of a runner necessarily than last year. Maybe he's more elusive right in the pocket.
He feels more elusive in the pocket. I thought so, especially during the Michigan
but
game.
I don't know as far as running the ball if he's any more different. But I think being elusive, the one complaint with Dylan in the Michigan game is that he doesn't get rid of the ball quick enough. Well, I mean, you could argue maybe a couple of them looking back, but for the most part, I mean, Jesus, you got guys in your face every other play. So Like that's hard, right? I think some people would. This is just a part of being a quarterback. Some people would like you when you're getting pressured just to, instead of taking a sack, like throwing it at your running back's ankles and taking an incomplete pass versus taking a sack. I can only imagine Husker fans when Dylan throws it at somebody's ankles and they go, "What is he doing? That was stupid. What is going like that?" That's the alternative, and people are going to be pissed off about that too because that's just how the people that don't understand football. So I get it, but you see the NFL guys do that all the time. Like I'm just imagining Rodgers catching it, taking 2 steps, and just throwing it at the running back's ankles, and then he's pissed at his offense.
He does that all the time.
Like that. Those are the kind of things I think that are better than taking a sack. But I mean, yeah, Michigan got a lot of pressure on us, and that goes back to the tackle conversation. That goes back to the offensive line and the place that we didn't think we have many issues there, but maybe have more than we thought going into the year.
Maybe. I mean, what was the consensus on our record for the year? Wasn't the consensus 9-3 within our group, not nationally on our little poll that you had?
No, I mean, I think a lot of it was even less than that. So I do want to talk about that here and switching gears. So I think with a loss like this, I mean, I do think some people are overreacting. This was not a game going into the year I thought we would win. I think some people maybe have this as a 50-50 game at best, maybe a little higher. I think Michigan getting beat by Oklahoma, the way that happened, maybe raised people's thoughts, expectations on this game a little bit. But Oklahoma's probably a lot better than people thought too. So that all being said, when you go back to where everybody was at the beginning of the year, I mean, I think if you had a bet to make, you probably would have thought we'd be 3-1, right? I mean, some people might have thought we'd be 4-0, but it's not the end of the world in the grand scheme of things for the season. Like we're on track to still get where everybody thought we want to get to is 8-4, 9-3, as we move forward. So I agree. People like the way the games played out, the Cincinnati game, which to me played out about exactly as I thought. Some people were hoping differently. The other two games, I'm just throwing those out the door. And then Michigan, we're 3-1 heading into our first bye week. I think that's right where the majority had us, right?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, I think most people thought we would either lose against Cincinnati, Michigan, probably Michigan. I'm hoping Michigan's gonna end up doing pretty well in the year. I don't know what their schedule looks like, but I can't say Underwood struck fear into my heart as far as a national title contender. But I think most people thought we were going to be 4-0 or 3-1, and I'd venture to guess non-Husker fans were like, "That'll be 3-1." Or non-diehard fans, there are a couple of people who are got a little carried away. Yeah, sky's not falling. We're fine. We'll see how the rest of the season shakes out. But you look at our schedule, no one on the schedule is really elevated beyond what we thought they were going to be.
And I do think coming off of two games where there really weren't any negatives for whatever reason, I think you take and you see some issues right against Michigan and you think, oh crap. And I think what people, including myself a little bit, where the concerns come in is if some of these things that we've talked about, talk about your tackle play, the defensive line, lack of depth at running back. If some of those things stay weaknesses, how does that impact these next few games or the rest of the games on our schedule? And where does that put us? I think that is where you think for the future on the schedule, can we win games given those weaknesses or those flaws? I think the answer is still yes. Not everybody's going to have a perfect team. If you were, you'd be going undefeated. But I do think when you look at, for example, the lack of just upfront play on both sides of the ball, we're not going to be playing a bunch of Michigans the rest of the year. There are going to be a couple that'll be similar, but even I've heard that maybe USC is not, they're not Michigan up front. They're going to be better in maybe other areas that Michigan's not, but they probably won't be as strong as Michigan is in the trenches. So, Penn State obviously will be probably better. Iowa, is going to be strong in the offensive defensive line as they always are. But as far as these next 4 games, we're just going to segment it up. Michigan State, Maryland, Northwestern, Minnesota, like those are games that if the season's intact and where we're going, we could go 4-0 in this stretch.
I would guess we'd probably lose one of them, maybe Maryland, but I agree. Like we very well, if we go 4-0, all of a sudden we're 7-1 going into USC at home. You're feeling different. You're feeling good. You're already blocked in the bowl game. You got UCLA, which I'm not gonna say is a guarantee win, but gosh, they look bad.
So I heard someone ask this: would it have been more important to beat Michigan or go 4-0 in these next 4 games? Which one would mean more?
Dak? Michigan. Oh, Dak. He's thinking about it.
I know Dak hasn't talked over there. He's just being quiet. He's still waking up.
Probably 4-0 in these next 4. Because we all figured that they'd be 3-1. These next 4, yeah, you're 7-1 then.
Dollar.
Whoops. I think, yeah, these next 4. I don't know. That's a tough question.
It's really not. Just have an opinion.
I know. I'd say 4-0 because how long has it been since Nebraska had a 4-0 stretch in the Big Ten like that? I mean, we expected Nebraska was going to lose to Michigan. These next 4 are games you should win. So we have the expectation you should win those games. We should win those games. So go out there and win the ones that you expect to win.
Go ahead, Austin.
I was gonna say I feel like a ranked opponent, nationally televised game. I think that was more important to win. That was that. I mean, we haven't beat a ranked opponent since 2016. I think is what I saw. Matt Rule hasn't beaten one since he was at Temple.
Yep.
I think that's more important to get that monkey off your back than it is to go 4-0.
I agree. And if you here's what's hard. Yeah, I mean, if you're saying we beat Michigan, but then we go slip one up at Maryland or something. For me, I personally think for the program, we need to win these next 4 to show that, not that we can win 4 in a row in the Big Ten necessarily, but that we're better than some of these bottom dwellers, which maybe there aren't too many bottom dwellers here, but Northwestern for sure. Maryland obviously has looked better this year so far, but they do this every year. So we can hopefully win that one. I mean, I think that's going to be a tough one to go win. Michigan State, and I mean, let's just put it this way: we were 2.5-point underdogs, right, to Michigan at home. I don't know the spreads. I'm just guessing. We're going to be a touchdown favorite at home against Michigan State. On the road at Maryland, I think a lot of it's going to depend on how that Michigan State game goes and how Maryland does against Washington. I would anticipate us being a 3 to 7 point favorite at Maryland. Northwestern, we're going to be probably more than a touchdown, maybe 10-point favorite against Northwestern. And then on the road at Minnesota, that I think that's going to be pretty much close to a pick 'em. But basically what I'm saying is we're supposed to, from Vegas standpoint, win those games. And if we can go out and show that we can win the games we should win, I think that's a pretty big step forward, even though, yes, getting the monkey off your back and beating a top 25 team, all of those things you mentioned, Austin, I think that's also huge. I think for the program, though, to say, no, like we're above it. We're in this middle echelon tier right now, with the Michigans, like some Michigans, Iowas. I think that means probably more to me right now. Now, we can't pull the Bo Pelini and never win the big game because that's also very frustrating. But I think we'll get those opportunities still in the future.
Which of the next 4 games are you guys most worried about? Because I've saw consensus from Husker fans on Twitter and
Maryland.
Oh wow, sure. Okay, that's not.
I'm at Minnesota. At Minnesota.
Yep. Minnesota was the one I was going to say. That's the one. Would you count that one if they win that one as getting the monkey off their back a little bit?
No.
Minnesota's kind of dominated Nebraska since they've gotten the Big Ten.
No, I think when you consider the monkey, the big game that we're talking about, right? It's the nationally televised, the big. I'm not going to say have to be a blue blood, but like it's like the Michigan game. Yeah, maybe USC. I mean, I don't think we have too many opportunities this year given our schedule. Yeah, I'm not saying we have to go beat
the Penn State.
We don't have to beat a top 5 team either. I don't think that's an expectation. I mean, it would be great, obviously, and that would be getting the monkey off your back. But it's winning the. I mean, Colorado last year was kind of close, like nationally televised big game, but Colorado obviously was not ranked, so you can't cross that off when you're talking about it. But I do. I think this Michigan game was a big opportunity, a big ceiling, a big thing that say we can do this, and we didn't. But like we talked about going in, I don't think it didn't drop the bottom off by losing it. It just was an opportunity to take the really big next step, and we weren't able to do it. So yeah, it wasn't like it took the season. And some people I think are maybe overreacting, but it didn't take the season and going, oh crap, here we go again. This is stupid. Like it didn't have that feel to it after losing it. There's still opportunities in front of us. It's going to be, though, how does this team respond to that loss? And given some of the weaknesses we've seen, what does that imply here for the next few games on our schedule? And can we get those games done? Because we won't have another big game for a while, like nationally implied check the box. I don't think Minnesota is one of those. No, maybe internally because we can't beat them, but it's not a.
No one cares about the Nebraska-Minnesota game except for
right.
Nebraska.
I mean, it will be a Friday night game, so probably everyone will be watching it. But I don't think that's not the magnitude we're talking about here.
Yeah, there's definitely some big opportunity. There isn't really, but the two big ones are that, like you said, USC and Penn State, which USC could be a top 10 game by then. I don't know what their schedule looks like, but that's I'm not counting Penn State. I don't think there's a high shot at all that Nebraska wins that one. But the USC one, I think, is the big one. At home.
Yeah, I do think, for example, for a Penn State conversation, depending on where they sit, competing in that game,
that's big. Yeah,
it's huge, showing that you're not that far off, which we kind of did against Ohio State last year.
Right.
So I think that speaks louder than obviously getting blown out. Like that's what you're looking for there. So like I said, I don't think as far as
I'm taking time acting.
What?
He said, okay, take your time out. They walked away. Must be getting called out. Must be getting called in.
Good God. So yeah, I think we're all kind of in agreement here. I think most Nebraska fans are too. There's obviously just all of the nitpicking and all the Dylan Raiola stuff and all of that. after this week. But I don't think it's.
You bet.
I don't think it's time to just flip the ship here. It's not. That's not
Nebraska
where
fans
we're
need to
at.
chill out on Dylan Raiola because he will leave us, and he can leave us for a bigger, better program. So I'm not saying we need to handle it with white gloves, but when he's playing really well, we probably don't need to be like, you're a piece of shit.
Speaking of leaving, and this is the other thing that's been out there. Gundy gets fired at Oklahoma State a couple days ago, and one of the leading candidates here for that job, or maybe not leading, but a name that's got thrown out is Dana Holgorsen going. What are the thoughts on that?
I feel like that's kind of wild. Dana was on the shelf, and we're like, hey, do you want to come here? And he's only coordinated 5 games for us, 6 games. And they're like, this guy's the new Oklahoma State head coach, potentially.
Yeah. I don't think that's. Doesn't he remind you a lot of Mike Gundy, though? Like personality-wise?
Yeah, I mean, he did coach for Gundy a couple of years before Dana became a head coach as the OC down there. So I think that's kind of the ties that he does have a little bit of background at Oklahoma State.
I think Holgersen's loving it here right now. I don't think he's at the age where he wants to go back and be a head coach anymore. I think he's just gonna be a coordinator the rest of his life. But who knows?
A lot of money
talks, I
being
guess.
head coach. Yeah.
Money
I'd
talks.
be disappointed, but that's how it goes, I guess, when you hire good coordinators.
Yeah, I've heard. I mean, the Husker fan side of things is he's loving life as a coordinator. Doesn't have all the responsibilities of a head coach. Doesn't have to work as hard at his age. Likes it here because he all of those things. But flip side of it's the money. I personally do think he wants to be a head coach before he's all said and done again. I think he will land somewhere after a few years. I don't know when that'll be and what kind of job that is. But for right now, at Nebraska, we'll take him while we can get him. And we'll see. I think obviously when you start having that conversation with any movement now in college football, you in the transfer portal, you bring that into consideration. And I'm not implying that Dana would take key players from Nebraska, but if Dana were to leave,
there would be key players that would go to Oklahoma State.
Yep.
Yes.
Would it be Dylan Raiola? Who knows?
That's what's. I think you said it earlier, Austin. Like, be nice or he's out of here. Like, it's a little bit of it. I think if Dylan starts getting the shaft from Husker fans, he's going to say F it.
If he leaves, he's not going to Oklahoma State, though.
No, I agree. I don't think he's going there either. And you know what? Some Husker fans would be like, great, Latif can play. I just think all of that so like it's so out of proportion right now. Now, lose 2 of our next 4.
Shit's gonna hit the fan.
We're gonna really hit some adversity here, and it's gonna be okay. Like, what's going on? I mean, for whatever those reasons are. Well, I mean, who knows if we were to lose 2 or why that would be, if it's the same things we're saying or new things popping up. But yeah, I mean, I don't think we should expect to lose 2 of the next 4. I think we should expect to win the games that we're favored to win, because that's what Vegas thinks.
We're favored.
But we'll see. Like, I think that just there's a lot of just speculation and predicting right now that you can do. But I don't think there's any. It's fun, but I don't think there's any reason that any of it's truthful yet, because it's still one game that we just got through. So
now here's another question about next four games. Which of those 4 games would you be most pissed that you lost?
Northwestern.
Yeah. The one that we definitely shouldn't lose. We probably will manage to.
I mean, this Michigan State one would hurt a little bit, I think.
That was the one I was gonna say. I mean, Northwestern, obviously. Yeah, I probably should have done
I
that one
say
out.
coming
But
in losing back-to-back games, not great. It's kind of like last year when what did we go 5-1 to start the year,
yep.
and then we lost the next five.
Yeah, I guess throw Northwestern out. So Maryland, Minnesota, and Michigan State. I think Michigan State would be the worst loss out of those three, just because coming off bye week, back to back losses. That's when fans start to freak out a little bit. Is in Michigan State's one, they're better this year, but they haven't been good in years. That's this is the one you got at home. Nebraska should win out of those three.
So I guess what are the reset expectations here? Are we still thinking 8-4, 9-3?
I haven't changed.
From what?
I don't
I
remember.
think
What
at 9-3.
I think I was 8-4. I feel like that's about right. I honestly feel a little more bullish about a 9-3, to be honest.
No, I haven't changed one bit from what I still think 9-3. I think Nebraska's going to slip up. I think Minnesota's the one they're gonna slip up, but I still think 9-3. Lose Penn State. I do think Nebraska can beat USC. So there's 9-3.
Incredible analysis by Dak.
Yep.
As always.
As always.
There's a schedule breakdown.
I don't know. I mean, I'm still 8-4 probably as far as predicting records.
So we still have 2 more ranked opponents on the schedule. It'd be nice to get one of those, but
I want us to be this year, like coming out of this year. I want us to get to the point that we're back to the middle of the conversation, right? Of the Big Ten. Because I think when you do that, then you're at a spot, assuming you don't take any steps back, where, and I'm going to say it, like Iowa, where you can compete in a given year with a given schedule to make the playoffs, whether it be 12 or they're expanding it to 16, whatever that might look like. You're there if you can put yourself in that middle echelon tier. After the past few years, I don't think you can say that we are yet until
I saw the Iowa's game against Indiana this week is the first ranked opponent in over like 1,000 days to play in Iowa City. How the heck have they avoided playing a ranked opponent in Iowa City for over 3 years? Not quite over 3 years.
It does seem like they always have the easiest schedule possible.
Well, they were in the Big Ten West for a long time.
Yeah, that adds up right there. Yep.
I think we winning these next 4 games, or at least going 3-1, like that to me helps me feel better about where we're heading. Like I think in the past, right? Like we've killed Northwestern in a couple of recent years. A game, the Maryland game, for example, I would venture to think, I would hope that we are in a better spot as a program than Maryland, even though we have to go play on the road there, which adds another level of toughness there. But you want to say you're better in Maryland. Michigan State, you want to say that you're better than where Jonathan Smith is in year 2 at Michigan State. We're in year 3. We're a year ahead of our program where we're at. You want to say that we're better than that. Minnesota is one that is in that tier with us that we just can't get the bugaboo to beat them. But you want to say, okay, we're taking a step forward. We're going to beat them this year. That's where I think you want to see the progress and step forward for the rest of the year. Winning a big game like Michigan would have been awesome. Obviously, beating a Penn State, beating Iowa this year, just finding a way to beat Iowa. Those games
might be okay. I mean, they had a shootout with Maryland and won.
And those are the games that we, I don't know if we're counting them as wins. I mean, I guess we kind of are. Like Dak's saying 9-3. I guess we are counting those as wins. Like, I guess for me, it's why are we counting those as wins? But if we believe that we're moving that way, then they should be. We'll see. That's where your 8-4 could quickly turn into 6-6 if you can't go beat Maryland and Minnesota on the road, and you can't beat Iowa because Iowa just finds a way to win against us by however they do it. So that's where that does turn into 6-6. And then if that happens, well, then where are we sitting? You know, then what do you think? What do we think about everything that's going on? And when I say we, I'm including the players and the coaches. Like, you're going,
when you go 6-6 this year, the sky will be falling.
I mean, that to me is definitely not progress. I mean, everybody's going to say that. So
especially
I don't think anybody thinks it's going to happen, but that's the scenario. Like, okay, could it?
Yeah, it could.
I mean, we could lose we could lose all these games. We really could. Like, let's be real. In a world that we're not improving, we could lose every single one of them the rest of the year. I mean, maybe you can give Northwestern, maybe UCLA chalk up wins, so there's 5. But I don't think there's a world where that we're going to give ourselves any other games.
So where we're sitting now, what number of wins, and I don't care who the wins and losses are against, what number of wins would you guys be happy coming out of the year with now?
What number of wins would I be happy with?
8? Yeah. I think eight's the minimum.
If we go 7-5, I'm still not very happy.
Nope.
Because that means we lost
a couple of them that Nebraska should not have.
I don't want to lose. Yeah. Oh, Dak.
Yeah, I don't.
Just got called out.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's gone.
No, 7's tough. Given how 7 goes, there could be a path at 7-5. I'm not super upset, but it most likely is not going to be the case. I mean, actually, I don't know what that case would be, because if we go 7-5 and we're losing close games, it's also not good. That's what's hard now, is even losing close games is not good anymore because we've lost so many of them.
The way you feel good about 7-5 is Iowa is undefeated and USC is undefeated and Penn State's undefeated, and you just run into like this surprise buzzsaw of
which I guess could happen. I don't think that's probably. I mean, let's look at the rest of these teams on the schedule as far as resetting or re-leveling expectations. Let's go through them. Going into the year, give me stock up or stock. I should specify. Are we more or less scared of them from where we were beginning of the year? So I'll go through each team here really quick. Just don't need an explanation. Just quick answer.
Real quick.
Michigan State.
Less.
Quick answer, Dak. I'll go less.
I'm going neutral, no change.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's an option now. All of a sudden, that's an option.
Yeah. I was gonna ask if we go neutral because they're exactly how I thought they'd be.
Maryland, at Maryland.
More concerned.
More.
Yep. I would say, but I mean, to me, it only by a little bit. I don't know what Maryland's got yet. They haven't played much.
They do this every year.
I think Wisconsin's really bad, guys. I really do.
Oh yeah, they're horrible.
I think they're horrible.
Hey, at least you know hire Luke Fickell.
Minnesota.
Neutral.
Neutral for me too. I think that they're playing as they are. Same going in. Northwestern.
More.
Less.
Neutral to me. I don't think they've changed.
I think much less of them.
USC.
More. They're better than what I thought.
Probably neutral.
Neutral for me too. I mean, I thought they were going to be pretty. I thought they'd take a big step forward here. UCLA.
Way less.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm like, going into the year, I was like, oh boy, I don't want to go to UCLA and play that game. Now I'm like, we should win that game. Penn State.
Neutral.
Yeah, neutral. That they are what they are. Iowa.
More.
Less.
Neutral. More or less.
Less. Let me see another week of Gronowski in the Big Ten and talk to me then, but less right now.
They have Indiana coming home this week, so that'll be a big game on whether I'm more worried about them or not. But the fact that they put up like over 30 points a couple times this year, it's like, gosh, we barely beat them when they could only get 6 first downs.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, their offense.
We can hardly beat them when they scored 10 points. Also, they can put up 38. It's like, oh boy.
I don't know if their defense is as good as they have been the past couple of years, but
it doesn't matter for us.
I don't know. I guess I look at her schedule and I think I was neutral on basically all of them. I don't think any besides UCLA, I don't think anybody's that much better or worse than what we thought. So I think that really only helps us. I don't know where we're at. I think everything's kind of going as expected if we want to go that way. For myself, there's not much change for me as we go through, which I think is good, right? Like let's see where we're at, and we want to chunk it up in the next 4 games and see where we're at after the next 4 games. I believe our next bye week isn't until pre-Penn State, so
well, there you go.
I think that's going to matter. I think it's going to help us win that game, Dak.
Yep, right for the big one.
It won't hurt.
So yeah, we have a big chunk here. We have 6 games here that once we get back rolling into games, we'll see where we're at. But anyways, all right. Anything else?
Penn State's one team. Penn State's one team I'm not sold on yet. They haven't looked good either yet. That is this weekend will prove a lot for them. I don't think they've looked good to start the year yet. Like I'm kind of selling my stock a little bit on Penn State right now. We'll see from this weekend.
Yeah, big one against Oregon this week. It'll be a fun one to watch Saturday night. Ohio State plays at Washington. I think it's kind of a little bit of a sleeper game for them.
Yeah, that'll be tough.
Washington's looked decent so far. I think they're still kind of your 3, Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State. But then Indiana, I guess right now, I don't know what you do with them. I mean, that's been a very – last week that was like a whoa. I mean, who beats anybody 63-10, let alone a top 10 team? Where do you throw them at? Maybe you throw them in there with them right now in the top tier of the Big Ten.
I would. For right now, I would.
I'm scared of Indiana. I'm glad we don't play them.
Yeah, they look good. They look really. And Cignetti as. We want to dive into it. How he's turned that program around so quick.
Yeah, I mean that's another hot topic, I guess, that I've heard this week is how he's done that in Indiana, and I've heard a lot of Husker fans and media calling it now an anomaly and that's not going to happen everywhere. Well, yes and no, right? Like I get it is an anomaly or a outlier. Like it is the most impressive feat from. I mean, Indiana guys, I think they were bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, one of the worst teams in Division I.
Like they were horrible, and he was able to come in and try to throw any excuse in there that you want. Well, he was able to bring his full team in from James Madison, and so that was a big it was a big reason why. I mean that's part of it, and
the culture. Just got rid of his quarterback. He had to have a new quarterback,
and the resource, like everything that goes along with it. Like it's just been impressive. I as far as an anomaly goes, and it's people kind of calling it that won't ever happen again. I disagree. Like there are so many coaches out there or situations like that probably could find a similar situation. I'm not saying in Nebraska right now is what we need to do and just find a
transfer portal is going to make it possible. It's going to happen.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen every time, but it's going to happen. You're right.
So I mean, it's impressive, and well, I honestly thought this year there might be a little bit of regression with them. It's been the opposite. So that is he's kind of proven me wrong there as far as what he's building in Indiana.
I mean, if you can do that, Indiana, Nebraska has so much more resources than Indiana has for getting transfer portals, recruits, and all that. It's like it's got to worry you a little bit how he can do that so quick. And it's probably he might just be that good of a coach. Who knows? I'm super impressed with what he's doing there.
I mean, their schedule's a lot tougher this year too. So like keep that in mind. And they go to Iowa this week. I think that'll be kind of telling. I mean, if Indiana can blow Iowa out like they did to Illinois,
Right.
but then they also play Oregon and they also play Penn State, both on the road this year too. Keep that in mind. So like,
yeah, that was the thing last year. They didn't play anybody, but I think they're better than last year's team.
Could be.
Yeah, I don't I don't know how he's done it. Hats off to you, Signetti.
I mean, I do think to Austin's scenario of going 7-5 or 6-6, not saying we're firing a rule, but the conversation is only going to become more of a thing, and you're going to hear more Signetti of why are we keeping somebody here and hoping that it takes 5, 6, 7 years to rebuild a program and believe in somebody that it's possible, could be possible that you go find a Signetti. I mean, that if that scenario happens, that conversation will become more and more at the forefront.
But like I said, though, the grass isn't always greener. Look at Fickle.
That's true.
I mean, yeah, it's obviously comes down to hiring the right guy too, right? When you do that, I mean, I think Wisconsin. I mean, we jokingly saw that coming too, but
wasn't Fickle and Rule like the top two choices at the time?
Yeah,
I would say Nebraska picked the right one out of that, but I guess as long as you can fire Rule, but like I've asked you before, what other coaches are out there? Well, I guess Ignay's proven it. There's other coaches out there that can do it.
Yeah. Okay. We'll be back Monday after a great week of football and Ryder Cup. Who do we got? Team USA, Team Europe.
Always Team Europe will win, but Team USA for life, you know?
Wow.
Who cares?
Team USA.
No. Who you got?
I think Europe's going to win.
I think so too.
I hate to say it. They're also the underdogs, but I just
like quite a bit.
It is. It's on the road, but they got to come on the road. USA's got the home course advantage. I love the Ryder Cup's great. It's great. It's the one time people can be have little etiquette in golf. It's great. Okay, back Monday. Go Big Red.
PBR.
Go Big Red.